Hello, everybody. This is Kevin from the Chuckleheads. We're getting ready to set up for a game of Sands of Sudan on Saturday afternoon in the convention center for Historicon. And what you're seeing is a lot of British troops and some Sudanese and Egyptians that are set up, and across the way, oh, there's Goober the traveling bear. And what we're doing is setting up, there's a fort that the British Highlanders are occupying, and the goal is to relieve them and save them. They've been surrounded by Mahdi troops all over. And as we're still setting things up, you can see where there's some brush that's been laid out. There's a couple of hills, and every one of those is a potential ambush site. Now, you're getting a good look at the Imperial forces, and they're broken up into various different commands. There's our gallant leader, Walt the Mahdi, who is setting up some villagers that may or may not be friendly. Only the Imperials will know if they get close enough to deal with them. We've got a whole bunch of troops. Now here the Imperials, with their pith helmets and fezzes, are learning about some of the things that have to be done, the rules, how far things move. And that's Walt again going and talking about all of this, so they've got an idea of what they're supposed to do and how to go about doing it. Not saying they'll be successful, but this is what they're trying to do. We're going over the charts. The charts can be a little intimidating, but once you understand them, they're not that bad after all. And there we are, the Mahdi troops.
Oh, the beloved, we must rid ourselves of the infidels. Yes, yes, we must wipe them from the face of the desert. Those holy unbelievers, we need to destroy them with a holy jihad. Thank you. Here we go. So here are the infidels. We've got a bunch of them, and they're all just a bunch of dirty vermin that need to be just burnt off the face of the desert. Mr. Neil, Mr. Roxanne, Mr. Doug, Mr. Brett, his son Mr. Nick, and Dennis, the worst of them all, Dennis Stackhouse. He's from New Jersey. So, they're moving forward. The goal is for them to come forward. As they come forward, once they get within a foot of either a field or a brush or the rocky slope, you've got to turn around and you've got to roll. And if I roll a 1 or a 2, an ambush will spring out and try to wipe out a bunch of them real quick. Unfortunately, that didn't happen in the very beginning. They kept moving forward, and we kept on rolling anything but a 1 or a 2. So they were just having a good old day, like a walk in the park. And there's Mike. He's saying, Walt, cheat. Pull some cards that will really kill them. I said, I can't do that. It just wouldn't be fair to them. So they kept on coming forward, but they didn't realize it was an evil trap. The Mahdi, a brilliant strategist, never be given credit for what a great job he did taking Khartoum. General Pasha Hicks, he should have been just, Anywho, back to the scene of the crime. The artillery's moving up. 20 camels just showed up on the other side of that rocky slope. And as they crest the slope, they see the British column. And then you can see in the bottom there, the fort, that 40 Scots are there, defended by the famous Crank It Out Jim Tobin. He is the Sergeant Major of the Scottish Army, responsible for singly defeating a whole battalion of Mahdi regiments. He just did it all by himself. You've heard of Sergeants 3? Well, this was Sergeant 1. So now we've got the Camels. Dennis has dismounted one of his companies, creeping forward up on that brush there, thinking that maybe if in case there were any ambushers in there, that he would be ready to shoot at them as they jumped out. But he's left the other 2 squadrons mounted, and they're moving down the line. There's Mike trying to help the guys, telling them what to do so he can get them right in the proper vice and kill them. So the Camel Corps is pushing down the road. The goal is for them to get within 18 inches of the fort or to get it to heliograph to the top of the hill. And there we see the Scots. There's 4 companies of them in there. And they're just waiting to see when the relief column can get close enough so that they can begin to exit the fort. The goal, the victory conditions for the British are to be able to escort the Scots out of the fort and to the other end of the table. So depending upon how things go. Now there's Dennis asking about, can he dismount these guys or should he charge with these guys? And of course he looks on very disgustingly. He didn't get the answer he wanted. So in the meantime, at the very bottom left there, you can see you've got Egyptians moving towards a field. You can also have, that looks like, yep, there's 10 Mahdi cavalry that advanced up over that hill, saw what was ahead of them, and they're now turning around and moving away from the British. So they're not very valiant Mahdi boys. So then still coming up through the center is the artillery. Now in the back of the column are 4 companies of Sudanese. And you can see there's a series of fuzzy wuzzies that are now moving up through the village. I believe there were like 50 of those. And they're going to head towards the hill where you've already got the camels ready to attack the British as they crest. There's Dennis and there's the boys moving troops around. And there's, yep, there you go. They're tripping. They're seeing if another ambush has been set off. And it's got a red dot on it, and that is an ambush. And from that ambush, here comes 20 more Ansar. So now we're just simply waiting for the Camel Corps to come up so that they can begin shooting and getting the action going. In the crossroads is a shepherd. Now he could possibly cause problems for the British depending upon what gets rolled. But as you can see, there's Dennis. He's moving up his dismounted Camel Corps boys. And you can see there, Mike's got the Mahdi camels on the ridge to your right. Kevin is working with the cavalry that's running away from the Egyptians on the left. And here comes a squadron of British hussars, and they're charging up the slope towards the camels. And they're going to have several fights back and forth throughout 2 or 3 turns. And then you'll also see over on the left of the very top, that's just a close-up of the Scots in the fort. And then to your right, you can see it looks like Mike is fought the Hussars, and he's being pushed back. So he'll drop back down, and the next turn he'll roll, and he'll see what the reaction is whether or not the Mahdi camels will continue to charge again, or whether they will slink off. And sometimes you roll the dice and they say, hey, you know what? You're going home. You're not coming back anymore. But you can see that the Mahdi fuzzy wuzzies, they're coming out from the village and from the underbrush, and they're heading right towards the Camel Corps, which is moving up. Actually, there's some artillery back there. It looks like it's beginning to unlimber. So they're getting prepared to fire at the fuzzy wuzzies. There you go. And there are the Scots once again. And yep, here come the Ansar. Here come 20 Ansar moving forward. And the way these guys are organized, they basically look at every base of 10 figures as being the same as 100. So if you sit in their mind, that's 200 Ansar that just moved up and 500 fuzzy wuzzies on the other side to the right. And then there's the other rocky hill with another shepherd on it. And then once again, a venue looking down the line. This was a very good game for Sands of the Sudan because a lot of things as the game progressed really came on. And there's Mr. Brett. He's a good painter. I've got a lot of stuff in the American Revolution that he's painted for me over the years. He's running the Egyptians, and his son Nick is running the Sudanese, which are bringing up the rear there. And Brett's pointing out something on the other side, so we'll just see what transpires. And that's a video showing the matrix that we use to take a look at the number of guys that are shooting and then what their fighting factor is. And then that tells you how many casualties are assessed either through shooting or through melee. So here's Dennis, always aggressive Dennis. Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. Take up that hill, boys. Don't charge up that hill. So anyways, they're basically with almost to 18 inches of the fort. So the Camel Corps is just about there. Up, the artillery opened up. and they've devastated the Ansar. There were 20 of them, and after those 3 rounds hit them, it killed 9 of them. So now there's only 11 Ansar left, and they in turn will then charge the Camel Corps, which are still mounted, which is not really a good matchup. Camel Corps when they're mounted against anybody. And there's the battle going on where the Hussars have once again engaged. The Camels on the right there have charged in. The Fuzzy Wuzzies have charged down on the little 6-man, maybe it's a 12-man Camel Corps dismounted group. That's they're pointing right there. Oh, looks like the Fuzzy Wuzzies got bounced. They charged in, killed a couple of Camel Corps, but they sustained higher casualties, and then the result was they got bounced back.
Well, forget all the crap you've heard so far about needing to rescue the Scots. We don't need no English to rescue us. But back to the battle. You can see they're coming from all over the place, the heathens. We really don't like them. We don't like them. They want to kick us out of our nice comfy fort and ruin our nice walk in the country today. Because it was a beautiful day for walking in the country. But no, not now. Not now. With these heathens coming at us from all sides. But we'll take care of them. We always take care of them. We'll do it for good old Queen Victoria. Oh, look, here they're coming out of that damn village. Well, you know, I should have burned it down when we went through it the first time. Well, oh, God, there's a big hand of God pointing at them heathens coming out of the sky. Serves them right. We want to come out of this damn fort and come down there and go rescue the English, because we don't need them to rescue us, let alone the Sudanese and the Egyptians. What a ridiculous thought that is. But here they come. There they are. There they are. The guns. Oh, the guns are firing away. The English are so nuts. They're firing in like every direction at once. I don't know if they know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. Our colonel has no use for them. Even the modest the English are laughing at themselves on the sidelines. But there it is. There's the old Fort McDougal. Oh, and there's the Mahdi. Oh, I wish I could take a pot shot at one. But, there they come. Oh, there's a nice view of the whole battlefield. It was a beautiful table. Here they come. Big fight outside the fort. We'll get some Scots out there and clean this up in a hurry. They'll be out soon. They're just waiting to take care of this mess. Oh, what's that? The hand of God just came down and grabbed a ruler off the table. There they are. Look at them fuzzies and camels. Oh, jeez. There's those poor English down on the other side, quaking in their boots and shouting themselves. They don't know what to do. There's a good shot of the valiant Scottish battalion holding the post in the fort to the last round. There's them poor English and their Sudanese and Egyptian allies trying desperately to reach the fort to rescue us. What a joke that is. I tell you, never happen. We'll come out and get them. That'll fix them. But they keep trying, they keep going, but they won't last forever. Now more and more the heathens are showing up. They'll take care of these English guys all right. Look at them swarming around my fort. They'll never get in my fort, Fort McDougal. We can fight them all day and all night, and then tomorrow too. Beautiful shot of my fort, surrounded by heathens. I don't see any English exactly relieving us. I don't want to hear about them rescuing us. That'll never happen. There, a waving Egyptian. Hello, Egyptian. Waving at the... Ooh, what's that? Oh, big. Oh, waving again. That's the friendliest Egyptian I ever saw. Well, here we are. The English look like they got themselves in some trouble here. We may have to bring the Scots out to rescue them. They're wasted in this feature. They ruined our plans to have a nice walk out in the country and get back to civilization. Well, you can't have everything. But, oh, look, this cinematography is quite impressive, don't you think? That Molyneux fellow's not bad for a Frenchie. He takes a pretty good video. Oh, ooh, look at that. Oh, they're fighting it out. You know, I heard tell that they'd been reading the memoirs of Robert E. Lee, and they had heard from him, never attack uphill, me boys. And so that's what they're trying to do, but they're hills and they're fighting up them. They never learn. Now, God, they're fighting it. They're shooting in all directions. They keep turning their guns around to shoot this way, then that way. And then they put their whole big battalion of Egyptians in a column and rush it up a hill. They don't know what they're doing. But then it's an English general. A Scottish general would never do that. You can believe that. Oh, there they go. Oh, nice shot, though, of the field. There was large forces doing a lot of damage to each other all day. But I think in the end, they were going to run out of steam. And if our day wasn't bad enough with all these heathen and English running around, we got a great blazing dust storm blew up, getting sand in my eyes and my hair, and I couldn't see nothing. But fortunately, we Scots just stayed in our little fort. We could see far enough when they got close to shoot them up good. Oh, there, ooh, look. It almost looks like the English are getting closer. But no, it's just a mirage in the dust storm. They're getting farther away as the heathen run them off. I think we're going to have to come out and rescue them because they clearly can't get to us. Oh, there they go, lined up and marching away. March. And then what happens? All the heathens in the world show up all around us. We have to come out of the fort to try and save the English. We're attacked on all sides. That's what we get for helping them. We should have forgotten them after Bannockburn and been done with them. Be that as it may. Oh, look at that. The big fights at the end. But sadly, it's late in the game. So even though there's a resurgence of these heathens, we were not able to slap them back. But we were able to do just enough for the English papers to report a great English victory as the English came up to relieve the Scots. Don't believe it. Your reporter on the spot here will tell you. We didn't need them to show up at all. We were fine in our fort. We could have stayed there till next Christmas for all the good these English did us. But there they are, fighting on still, on all sides, fighting in 8 directions at once. What kind of formation is that? I ask you. Some kind of kindergarten strategy and tactics here. Oh, the Bruce never fought like that at Bannockburn. Oh, there's all the players lined up around the table. It's a great bunch of players. They all smiled and didn't complain too much, which is pretty good because we complain all the time. But then we're Scots. We're supposed to complain, damn it. Here they come. Oh, the last assault's all coming at my fort. But we shrug 'em off like a dog shrugs off fleas. But boy, they're giving the English all they can handle. I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be English today. I'd rather be a Scot. Of course, I'd rather be a Scot any day than an English dog. Oh, I mean, a servant of Her Majesty the Queen. Oh, there's the fort, still showing the English flag. Well, it's only right, I guess. They know if they want to keep it, who to put in it. They put the Scots in there, and the Scots keep it.
I think everybody had a great time. You see Mike on the left. You see Nick with the fez. You see Douglas to the front. You see Neil behind him. Then you see Jim Tobin. Then in the far back, you see, up in the front, you see Jim Bisignani. And to the right, you see Brett. That's Nick's dad. And there's somebody else that I'm forgetting. And who am I forgetting? Roxanne. I'm sorry, Roxanne. Roxanne standing between Jim Tobin in the orange shirt and Douglas in the blue shirt. So I think everybody had a great time. Thank you all very much.
Well, this is Bill Molyneux, and we're closing out our Chuckleheads game of Sand of the Sudan. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe, be kind, and be courteous, and don't forget to subscribe.